What is forensic science? Is it chasing criminals and saving the day? Is it the glory of being part of a sexy investigation team? Or is it looking at evidence under fancy microscopes in cool labs? Well, sometimes, but it's also hard work and intense examination, sometimes in full protective equipment for long hours in all sorts of conditions. Forensic science is the study of physical evidence in a modern legal context. It is best defined as science in service to the courts, the search for truth and the meaning of evidence in both criminal investigations and through courts of law. Hi, I'm Murray Clayton, Program Officer for the Forensic Science Program here at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. I'm also a forensic anthropologist with casework experience, including human excavation, autopsy collaboration, and mass human recovery. I'm here to explain to you the ins and outs of the Forensic Science program here at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, and you're here because you have an interest in forensic science. Maybe you saw something really cool on TV and thought, I want to do that. That's fantastic, but there is more to it than what you see on TV. Forensic science is a collection of the best and brightest scientists working together to make our community safer, examining evidence to put the right person in jail, and testifying under oath to the expertise and validity of their analyses. At the University of Toronto, Mississauga, we offer the world's oldest and most reputable forensic science training program that offers students unparalleled experiences and opportunities to network and prepare for your professional career.
So speaking from my own experience, I started in archaeology where I was excavating human remains. And for me, I felt that it was really fascinating and really exciting, but I didn't feel like I was really contributing much more than scientific or academic research. And I found my home in forensic science because I felt like I was really making a difference. When someone goes missing or if someone dies, it's a very bewildering and very heartbreaking process. And forensic scientists are there to answer those major questions. Why did this happen? How did this happen? And every little bit contributes to individuals and the community as a whole. So forensic science is really a great way to give back to your community and feel like you're making a valuable impact on the world around you.
Let's start by breaking down the 5 different degrees we offer in forensic science. This is important because before you apply, you should be well aware of what academic direction you want to take. It will change the requirements you need to get in. You can revisit these requirements by downloading the program information booklet on the front page of the UTM Forensic Science website. Our general forensic science degree gives you a taste of all forensics has to offer, with a focus on crime scene investigation. Students graduating from this program are typically looking for work as police officers, special constables, detectives, RCMP officers, or first responders. Our famous CSI house hosts crime scene recreations used for training students in investigation techniques. And we offer independent research opportunities to work with faculty members tailored to your own personal interests. To meet admission requirements for this degree, you will need your grade 12 university level English, math, biology, and chemistry. We also highly recommend calculus and physics. It's a tough and intense program, and having this foundation before you enter will make it way easier. Plus, suffering through physics in high school is free. Don't pay to suffer in university. If you're interested in the identification of human remains, skeletons, and bones, or body recovery and excavation, then you're probably looking for our Forensic Anthropology Specialist degree. Anthropology students have a variety of avenues after graduation, including anthropological consultation for police investigations, human rights and genocide work, graduate studies, or medical school for forensic pathology and pathology assistantships. A forensic anthropologist will usually hold a PhD in physical or biological or medical anthropology, conduct research involving modern forensic data, and attend national and international conferences to maintain their qualifications. Our Forensic Anthropology Lab is managed by one of Canada's leading anthropologists, Dr. Tracy Rogers, who has been a primary investigator on the Robert Pickton Pig Farm serial killer case, the Tim Bosma homicide case, and many more. Real case remains are analyzed in our UTM lab. This degree requires your grade 12U English and Biology, and it's also highly recommended that you take 12U Math. The Forensic Biology Specialist degree deals with the collection and examination of human tissue and fluids, like blood and saliva. In the biology discipline, assault cases are the majority of cases that are examined. They subclassify into the various degrees of sexual and aggravated assault, and the most ultimate of assaults, homicide. At UTM, we focus on DNA mapping and genomic analysis, not just for individuals present at a crime scene, but also identification for mass disasters and general populations. Dr. Nicole Navrosky runs the 4Gen Consulting Laboratory, and many students execute collaborative research regarding demographic DNA databasing and the use of online DNA databases like Ancestry.ca or 23andMe to catch killers. Forensic biologists work either in independent consulting labs or work for the government in technician positions, such as those offered at the Centre for Forensic Sciences in Toronto. For this degree, you'll need your grade 12 university level English, Math, Biology, and Chemistry, and it would be a really good idea to take calculus as well. Forensic chemistry deals with the examination of unknown substances and is probably the most broad discipline in our program. Students in this specialist degree work towards jobs in labs, focusing on anything from chemical fingerprint enhancement to ballistics to gunshot residue, unknown substance identification, or toxicology. Court testimony is a critical part of the job of a forensic chemist, even though a small percentage of the time is actually spent this way. Like biologists, you can expect to find work in government agencies like the Centre for Forensic Sciences. And here's a little tip. There are a lot of jobs in toxicology at the moment. The catch is that forensic chemistry is also the most intense of our specializations. You'll need your grade 12 university level English, Math, Biology, and Chemistry. And I cannot stress this enough. We also highly recommend calculus and physics for success in this specialist degree. Our last, but certainly not least, specialist degree is forensic psychology. The study of criminal behavior, yes, but also the behavior of the judge and the jury, and how we perceive criminals, and how that may interfere with a fair trial. Forensic psychologists also look at the forensic scientists themselves, the bias and subconscious prejudice that may get in the way of a scientist doing their job properly. Forensic psychologists will need to continue to graduate school after their undergraduate degree, but can choose between academic research in psychology, moving forward the body of knowledge with innovative exploration, or clinical psychology, in which they may be a part of or open their own practice and deal with criminals or victims one-on-one. Some forensic psychologists may go beyond their PhD in psychology and law and obtain a Juris Doctorate or JD, or Masters of Legal Studies, MLS. Psychologists who do testify to forensic assessments of individuals or treatment services should be further trained in the delivery of applied services such as clinical and counseling psychology, in the delivery of forensic services, and should be licensed. Psychologists wishing to specialize in clinical forensic practice should be board certified by the American Board of Forensic Psychology. Students interested in forensic psychology will need their grade 12U English, Biology, and Math. Statistics are key in this discipline. In all 5 of these degree programs, you're expected to come out of high school with the average of your top 6 university level grades being at least 75%. You should probably aim for higher though. It's a competitive program, so you'd be comfortable sitting at an 80 to 85 average. So if I haven't scared you off just yet and you're still intent on applying, you can find us at the Ontario University's Application Centre website under Forensic Science. Each degree has their own OUAC code, but when you enter the Forensic Science program, you will be in a general Forensic Science Year 1, regardless of what you applied for on OUAC. This is important to remember because the way it works in university is that you apply to the general program or faculty before specializing. In your first year, you will only take one Forensic Science course, and that's Introduction to Forensic Science. It spans the whole academic year and covers a general overview of all the different fields, jobs, and experiences. At the end of your first year, once you've proven that you can handle the intensity, the subject matter, and the academic expectations of the program, then you can declare your intent to continue on through the program, through the online subject post system. This isn't just for us, this is really for you, to make sure that you really want to be here and that you're not wasting 4 years of your own time and money just to decide you don't like it. And hey, there's totally nothing wrong with you changing your mind. I started in fine arts, then moved to classical history, then anthropology, and finally forensics. You can't be expected to have your life figured out after high school, so don't stress about it. Just do the best you can, and accept that change is always an option. Experiential education is something that the program takes very seriously. We offer a wide array of experiences to build your skills and make you employable. While your first and second year will be primarily focused on forensics theory and academic growth, by third year, you'll be engaged in our field school courses, FSC 300 or 303, which teach techniques of crime scene investigation, or you may want to take the Forensic Anthropology Field School to learn how to search for and recover human remains. In your fourth year, you can take the Advanced Investigation Field School for more in-depth crime scene training, or engage in your own independent research. Previous independent projects have included testing new methods of fingerprinting, using chemical-infused slime, or body decomposition in car fires. This one was pretty cool. We used humanely collected pig carcasses, took a car out to a field, put the carcasses inside, and set the whole thing on fire. Then the student examined the decomposition rates and scavenger activity over time. All of the specialist degrees are guaranteed an experiential research internship, either independent or collaborative, where you will be conducting your own research under the guidance of a mentor in the field. This could be a police officer, a lawyer, a pathologist, a psychologist. The possibilities really are endless. In addition to academic experiences, we also have a wide variety of student activities that are organized by the Undergraduate Student Forensic Society. Tours of the Center for Forensic Science, gun certification workshops, cadaver dog demonstrations, and more. Exclusive experiences that just aren't available to members of the general public. Last year, we toured the Ontario Police College's drug house, and we got to see what a real meth lab looks like, and let me tell you, it's a lot nastier than what you see in Breaking Bad. So forensic science is great in general, but why would you choose UTM? I mean, there's a whole bunch of other universities out there. Well, one of the biggest factors here at UTM is that all of our courses are taught by forensic professionals who bring their own expertise and unique field experience to the classroom. Our faculty consists of highly trained individuals in each of the fields. For example, one of the first faces that you'll see as a student in forensic science is Dr. Vivian Luke, who came to us from the Center for Forensic Sciences in Toronto, where she worked as a forensic toxicologist. Now she specializes in teaching forensic chemistry, physical evidence and microscopy, forensic toxicology, and analytical forensic toxicology. The current director of our program, Dr. Tracy Rogers, is one of Canada's lead forensic anthropologists. She's a consultant not only for the regional police, but also for the Ontario Forensic Pathology Service. Dr. Nicole Navrosky is our resident forensic biologist who came to us from the Center for Human Identification at the University of North Texas in Fort Worth. Dr. Navrosky completed her doctoral studies identifying novel short tandem repeat markers for enhanced DNA mixture deconvolution. She now teaches our courses in forensic biology, missing persons and unidentified human remains, and DNA typing using massively parallel sequencing. Detective Constable Wade Knapp is a retired police officer with the Toronto Police Service's Forensic Identification Unit training section. After serving a number of years as a Forensic Identification Police Officer, or Scene of Crimes Officer, he then took on an educational role and trained over 900 police officers in Scenes of Crime training, which our very own forensic identification courses are now based on. He is now part-time faculty with the Forensic Science program and teaches our FSC 100, so Introduction to the Real CSI, Forensic Identification, and the Advanced Forensic Identification Field School. Dr. Karen Woodall comes to us from the Center for Forensic Sciences in Toronto, where she was a forensic toxicologist, analyzing biological samples for the presence of drugs, alcohol, and poisons, and interpreting toxicological findings for the purposes of medical and legal investigations. She regularly testifies in court as an expert witness in many different types of trials, including homicides, sexual assaults, and impaired driving cases. You'll find her teaching courses like Ethics and Professionalism in Forensic Science, Best Practices, Forensic Psychopharmacology, and the Science of Cannabis. Dr. Rasmus Rosenberg Larsen holds a PhD in philosophy from the University of Buffalo in New York. He joins the Forensic Science program as our forensic epistemologist, teaching theory and deeper questions such as, what is psychopathy? Are psychopaths legally responsible? Is psychopathy a mental disease? Dr. Larsen can be found teaching topics regarding the psychology of violence and antisocial conduct, as well as foundational philosophical and scientific issues in mental health research. As a registered professional engineer in the province of Ontario, Eugene Licio, PEng, is the owner of AI2-3D, a company that specializes in 3D forensic measurement, analysis, and visualizations of law enforcement and legal industries. Eugene has created 3D reconstructions of shooting incidents, homicides, medical malpractice, and vehicular accidents using a variety of 3D technologies for evidence of all sizes. He's been an expert witness in both Canada and the US, and was recognized for his work in the David Cam case, a triple homicide case where an ex-state trooper was wrongly convicted of killing his wife and 2 children. Some of his work has been featured on 48 Hours and also NBC Dateline. Eugene teaches the Introduction to 3D Forensic Reconstruction and Mapping course as part of the Forensic Science program, and is actively involved in assisting both graduate and undergraduate students with 3D technologies such as photogrammetry, structured light scanners, and terrestrial laser scanners in their research. Our resident legal expert, Caitlin Prakash, is an assistant Crown attorney in Newmarket with experience researching and writing about the intersection between forensic science and criminal law, most notably in her award-winning book, The Lawyer's Guide to Forensic Sciences. Before joining the Ministry of the Attorney General, Caitlin opened her own criminal defense firm after working for several years at Innocence Canada as its senior staff lawyer. She's also a proud graduate of UTM's Forensic Science program, having graduated in 2008 specializing in forensic anthropology with a minor in biology. As Canada's first honours Bachelor of Science degree program in forensic science, U of T Mississauga has developed well-established partnerships over the past 20 years with organizations such as the Centre for Forensic Sciences, the Office of the Chief Coroner of the Province of Ontario, the Ontario Provincial Police, the RCMP, and numerous other police services and agencies worldwide. Now let's talk a little bit about the courses you're expected to take in your first year at university. The way that course credit works at U of T is that every one semester's course is worth half a credit. Thus, a full year course stretching over 2 semesters is worth 1 full credit. So if you're enrolled in the Forensic Science Double Major Generalist degree, then you should be completing 4 credits by the end of your first year, or 8 courses, and 3 of those credits, or 6 courses, should be science credits. You'll need to take Introduction to Forensic Science, which is a full year course, so that's 1 full credit right there. You'll need to take Chemistry 110, Chemistry 120, which both together make 1 full credit, and your choice of 2 of the first year math courses. It would also be a good idea to complete Physics 136 and Physics 137 in your first year as well, to get it out of the way. It is required to graduate, but not to progress into second year. If you're applying to one of our specialist degrees, that's also a double major degree, and you should be taking the courses that are relevant to your second major. For instance, if you're applying to forensic anthropology, then the regular anthropology science degree will be your second major. As such, you want to make sure that in addition to the Introduction to Forensic Science course, you're also taking Anthropology 101 and Anthropology 102. If you're in the Forensic Biology specialist degree, and students who are interested in forensic chemistry should be taking Introduction to Forensic Science, Chemistry 110, Chemistry 120, Biology 152, Physics 136, and Physics 137, as well as 2 of the first year maths. Students looking for forensic psychology as their specialist degree should be looking at taking Introduction to Forensic Science, Psychology 100, which is also a full year course, Biology 152, and Biology 153. If you ever forget, or it gets too confusing, remember you can always download the information package found on the UTM Forensic Science website, or you can check out the course calendar for more guidance. We also have a great resource in Teresa Cabral, our academic advisor, who is there to help students make the right choices for their program. I hope you found this presentation engaging and informative, and I hope you make a decision that's right for you when it comes time to choosing universities. Goodbye and good luck.
Hi, my name is Juliet, and I'm a fourth-year forensic chemistry major.
Hi, I'm Georgina, and I'm a third-year forensics and bio double.
Hi, my name is Esme. I'm a second-year forensic anthropology specialist.
Hi, I'm Evie. I'm a forensic anthropology specialist in second year.
Hi, I'm Angelica. I am a fourth-year student in the forensic biology specialist program.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a upper-year forensic anthropology specialist with a minor in French.
Hi, I'm Mahalia, and I'm an anthropology major with a double minor in biomed communications and forensic science.
My name is Murray Clayton, and I'm the Program Officer and Outreach Coordinator for Forensic Science. And this is the Forensic Crime Scene House. This is the oldest building on campus, and it's also where all of our forensic investigation and research takes place. So built in the late 1800s, this is actually the oldest building on campus and was a residence all the way up until 2009, when the program decided that it would be really great to hold mock investigations in the house. So not only is this house host to a lot of experiential education opportunities that we provide within the program, but it's also used by external facilities too. So things like regional police. It's used for heritage tours like Doors Open Mississauga. We do a lot of events with local community groups and youth. But the main core crux of this house is the experience courses where students get to apply their education in things like investigating crime scenes, taking crime scene photography, taking fingerprints, blood spatter analysis, alternative light sourcing, and evidence collection. So in this room, we have a living room that's set up for one of our outreach events. So what you're going to find is a whole bunch of evidence on the floor. We have our test dummy that the students may or may not feel is involved in this particular crime. And all the rooms are linked with evidence that all work towards a larger crime. So we have a dining room, and then we have our alternative light sourcing room, which is the bedroom. In this particular room, you get to see a lot of really cool things that you can't see with the naked eye. For instance, some substances that you may expect to find at a crime scene. And some things you may not expect to find at a crime scene. So some of the courses that use this house include our third-year forensic identification courses, our fourth-year advanced forensic identification courses. In some cases, the psychology department has used this in conjunction with the Toronto Police for stress testing and resiliency testing. We do outreach mock investigations. We do student group run events in the house. And independent research for some of the upper year internship students also use this house as part of their research collection as well. So in this crime scene I've set up, it's for our outreach event, and essentially what's happened is a birthday party that's gone wrong. So students are going to be working in individual groups in each of the rooms, and then they'll come together and collaborate at the end of their investigation to swap information, to swap evidence, to see what exactly has happened. So in this particular scene, we have some cakes in the kitchen, but so you have some blood on the floor with a knife. We have cups and plates on the table. Some of the cutlery is on the floor, so we can clearly see that there have been signs of a struggle. On the floor, we have footprints that lead us to believe that someone has come in through the window and potentially closed it behind them. And we have more evidence in the living room. There's some drugs on the floor, there's papers and balloons, there's a bloody napkin. So we can clearly see that someone's been injured. And the students are going to put all this information together to try and figure out what happened in this crime scene. This house isn't just limited to the main floor. There's some really cool stuff that goes on in the basement. For instance, last year one of our internship students was looking at fluvial movement and water erosion on human bone. So they had set up a sub-pump system in the basement that constantly flowed over those bones so we could track the levels of change and erosion on human bone over time. And in that way, it gives us a very good indication of time since death if we happen to find human remains in a river or a lake. So it is super janky, I'll just let you know. We don't usually allow like just students. It's not usually part of the IDENT course, but for special research, we'll do some stuff in the basement. So it is unfinished, so you'll have to watch your head. And yeah, the steps are quite narrow, so just So in this room is where some independent research may be taking place. So this is where the tubs were, where the bones were set up to the pump system. You can actually still see the tubs just around the corner here. And the great thing about this basement is that it's really, really creepy. So if you have to replicate some kind of kidnapping or crime that involves, stashing a prisoner, we have a lovely little nook in the wall here that certainly sets up that imagery.
Oh my God.
So we also have storage for the summer camp that runs in this house as well. In the summertime, for 6 weeks, we run a summer camp, and each camp is sort of a week at a time. So parents can put their children into the summer camp for a week at a time. And they also do mock investigations, but obviously at sort of a more remedial level for something that kids can understand. So bite mark analysis, handwriting, fingerprinting, all that can be made accessible to the public based on that summer camp. So we also had a student looking at mold growth on decomposition. So instead of using human remains, she was using pig cadavers. And essentially pig cadavers were set up in several different parts of the house. One in the fridge to track cooler climates, one in the basement to track moderate to temperate climates, and then one upstairs to track regular climates. If you go online to the UToronto/forensic website, you can actually do a 3D walkthrough of the crime scene house. You can go into the basement and do sort of like a virtual walkthrough. That's one of the technologies that we also use the house for, so 3D crime scene reconstruction, which involve, much like the video you may be watching, a walkthrough of the house, but recreating a crime scene as it exactly was when the officers arrived there on the scene. So a judge and a jury can put on a VR helmet and see exactly the same contexts that the cops would have seen when they first arrived at the scene.